practice problems, we're going to take a look at aggregate supply. And once again, I would say check out AC/DC Econ video here. It's really pretty helpful for giving you a quick summary. Now, we're going to do some of these quick prompts and see how it affects aggregate supply, or if there's no change to it. Let's see. Saudi Arabia reduces oil production. So we have inflationary expectations. Nah. Resource prices. Ooh, that one might be, because oil is a resource. Actions by the government affecting producers. No, not really. And productivity. No, not really. So we're going to go with resource prices. And if they reduce oil production, then the resource prices are actually going to go up. And so SRAS will go down, right? So the costs are going up, so SRAS is going to decrease, and that'll move it to the left. If businesses create worker training programs, thinking about inflationary expectations, resource prices, actions by the government affecting producers, and productivity, well, it's going to affect productivity. The workers would be more productive. So SRAS increases and shifts to the right. If the government cuts environmental regulations, now we've got inflationary expectations. Now resource prices, probably not. Actions by the government affecting producers, yes. So we'd say actions by the government affecting producers. And if they cut these regulations, the SRAS curve will increase because it's going to make it cheaper to do business. The idea here is a lot of them really do just come down to resource prices and productivity. Because if you make it cheaper to do business, it affects resource prices at the end of the day. So that would be a shift to the right. Businesses expect higher inflation soon. So this one is an inflationary expectation. Okay. And if you expect higher inflation soon, then that will cause you to pass that higher cost to the next level here. So it would reduce aggregate supply. Let's go back for a second here. Here we have inflationary expectations. If we expect higher price levels, then that will reduce aggregate supply because of the higher input costs. When people start showing up and saying, I want more wages, I want more for my supplies and things like that, that's going to reduce aggregate supply, inflationary expectations. Union membership decreases. This is a resource cost, right? Input costs. And if their costs are going down, then we say aggregate supply goes up, shifts to the right. Fracking drives down energy costs. Again, resource prices, and it's going to cause an increase because things are cheaper. Labor productivity rises. That one's pretty clear. P, productivity, increase, shifts to the right. Electricity prices increase due to a carbon tax. So this is going to be resource prices, and it's going to cause a decrease because it's more expensive, so resource prices are more expensive, to the left. Job training programs increase in popularity. Well, that's going to be productivity. Think about, is it going to affect resources, prices, or productivity? If productivity goes up, then we expect the SRAS to go up. Congress votes to expand immigration. Ooh, this one's tougher, but think about it like this. What's a big input cost? Wages, right? And what's immigration probably going to do? In many cases, it's going to create more workers. If you have an increased labor supply, that can hold down wages in some cases. And so we'd say resource costs. You could get away with saying actions by the government affecting producers, but this one is probably, actions is usually more like regulations. The resource prices is probably more clear here. But this one, the resource prices would go down, again, because you have more workers, so you don't have to pay them quite as much. So you would say, oh, I think I got that one wrong. SRAS goes up because the resource prices are going down. So it shifts to the right. Businesses invest in new machinery that increases the marginal product of labor. So this is telling you productivity. That's the productivity. Now, the investing in new machinery part, right, that part is investment spending. So the investment spending here contributed to a productivity shift, and it increased productivity and shifted it to the right. Last, Congress votes to expand higher education to improve human capital. In this one, the improvement of human capital is productivity. And it's increasing that productivity, so it's shifting it to the right. So again, here we have the increasing human capital kind of hidden as a way of saying productivity. If we have better human capital, that means the workers are more skilled, so they're going to be more productive. Now, the second part of today's lesson is shifting long-run aggregate supply, and this is more like a if-then type statements. So imagine Congress cuts business taxes on investing in new machinery and equipment. As a result, which component of AD is affected? CIGXN. Well, investment. So investment spending is going to go up. If businesses respond by buying new machinery, what's going to be the likely impact on productivity? Well, if they have a new machinery, it's probably going to increase the marginal product of labor. You're going to have more machines, you could be more productive. So increase. If productivity increases, how does short-run aggregate supply go up? Well, it goes up. I gave you the answer there. Productivity is more, so aggregate supply increases. And if it's permanent, how does LRAS change? Well, that's an increase. So this can be the connection here. For a lot of folks, this is a link chain that's pretty important. If you can increase investment spending and it makes us more productive, right? More productive, and that's permanent, you can get what we call economic growth. Economic growth. And economic growth happens by making our ability to produce more goods and services happen. That's what that really means, is that we have a greater production possibilities. Oh boy, now we're really talking. If you remember, you have a PPC that looks like that. Economic growth would be modeled as an outward shift of the PPC. So just like we said, we have a business cycle, right? And we have a long run trend. And if we go in the long run, that trend is that straight line. The trend is going up over time. It's the same idea as an increase in the PPC. That's the same idea as the LRAS curve moving to the right. Because this is output down here. So if you have output before, output sub 1, now you're at output sub 2, that's more output. So these are all the same idea shown in 3 different graphs. All right, so hopefully this practice set on aggregate supply helped you a little bit. I'll see you next time.